Bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes, welcome back. I just watched Escape from the Infinite, and it's absolutely amazing. Welcome back to our weekly anime roundup, where we usually go through the best and worst 5 anime of the week. We're changing that as of this week, though, because we have run out of bad anime to talk about, because the lowest on my list is like a 6.5. I'm not putting that in the bottom of the list because that doesn't seem very right. But that means we're going to be doing a top 10 animes instead. And this week, we actually have a couple of things that have not appeared, probably because they're 9th and 10th, but hopefully they are steadily climbing the ranks. They've got better scores for the most part week after week, and hopefully we'll be able to see them in the top 5 sooner rather than later. So first up, we're going to go with one of those new things, the Apocalypse Hotel, which this anime is absolutely delightful. It tells us the story of, hey, what would happen if a virus killed off most of the people on Earth, the rest fucked off into space, and they didn't tell the robot concierge or the rest of the robot staff of this hotel what happened. This hotel is a shining beacon in the middle of a ruined Japan because they are keeping it spotless, they are keeping it immaculate. They even get upset when they find out that they're missing one of their hair doovies. I can't remember what you call it, but it's to stop the suds getting into your eyes when you're washing your hair. Over the course of it, we have not had humanity come back, but we have had a couple of aliens. We had a plant alien a couple of episodes ago, and now we have Tanuki folk, which are great because every time they get scared, they turn back into Tanuki form and pass out. They just play possum if they get scared. I love it. This week, we also got to see some sandworms from Dune, because outside of Tokyo proper, where there is this lush, overgrown area, we have deserts. Lots and lots of deserts. And you know what loves deserts? Sandworms. Because of this, we got to see our little Tanuki friend go absolute badass because she did not want something bad to happen to our main robot character. And yeah, I can't explain this well enough to just get through it. You need to go watch it. After that, we have our other new thing for the week, the Shinji Family Children, which this is not so wholesome. This is the story of 7 children who I only just realized that it's Shin. They just found out that most of them aren't related. The only ones that are our white-haired boy at the top and our green-haired girl down below. I can't remember names for my life. But we have found out that over the course of the 5 weeks now, god damn, we're almost halfway through the season, we have found out that our timid-looking girl on the left is a little bit in love with her brother. And that was true before she found out he wasn't actually her brother. And there are other escapades between our analytical blue-haired girl trying to test her brother to see if he will be physically reacting to her being half naked on top of him, and his elder sister basically just wanting to date him. And weirdly doing it in a very wholesome way, considering it's such a creepy thing to be doing. After this, though, we get into familiar territory, and not that kind of familiar territory, with Classic Stars, where we have had our 4 introductory episodes now, because we have our 4 main characters. Each of them needed to have an episode basically going through what their style is. And this episode should have been them coming together to do their music, but we needed to see how Beethoven is now that he's actually coming to terms with the fact that he has to do music. Not good is the answer to that. He's decided that he's basically going to make pop music. Or at the very least, that's what the song he makes is. And I appreciate the hell out of it. I don't think it's his style, but it does feel very much like somebody's first song, because a lot of pop music does seem that way. But I'm so glad they didn't just give him this amazingly done, grandiose opera. They gave him a shitty pop song. It's so great. We're gonna head right over because next week we will be getting their first appearance together as the Grand Meisters. But we can go into that next week. Right now, we're going to go into can a boy-girl relationship survive? It's so great. This week we got the aftermath. It turns out that our MC is failing some of his classes, and he has a chance to recoup them and not have to repeat the grade. But to do so, he has to go study with I want to say Himari, who is right here. The problem with that is her brother is a slave driver, and when she thinks she's going to be having some fun time, oh god, is she not having a fun time. Because her brother, as we discussed last week, wanted her to apologize and make amends, and she did not. We don't know what he did or what he said, but she was still in tears when they were dropped off at school the next day. I do appreciate the fact that we didn't really see the other female characters' reaction to what was happening last week. But this week, she is the Grudge. She's just straight up Samara from the Grudge. And she is completely cold-shouldering Himari. And it's so great. I want her... Like, we have our tsundere already. I want her to go full yandere. I want her to be the homicidal crazy character. It would be such a good twist. Yeah. If you're not already watching this, what the fuck are you doing with your time? After that, we have apparently a mix-up again, because we should be on Go Loser Ranger. I'm not repeating this again. I've gotten to this point and had to restart twice already. We have Go Loser Ranger, which, Jesus Christ, this week was dope. This week, we got to... Sorry. Last week, our MC got kicked out of the illusion that was the high school. He manages to sneak his way back in by taking on somebody else's appearance. He knocks out a giant dude in the bathroom, which is sus as hell when you say it out loud. Takes on his form, gets brought back in, and then starts fighting the principal of the school. All the while, Kennen, who is our blonde baddie in here, pretends to have been taken over by the school's influence. And I love the fact that the principal is all fooled by it. He's like, yeah, she's obviously in this state. And the MC is like, even if you were like taken over by the school, there's no way you would be this meek. Of course you were bullshitting. I love some of the little things in there. But yeah, it culminated with this absolutely badass fight with our MC and Kennen fighting together to kill off the principal, because he made 10 minutes of there are no rules in the school, specifically so that they wouldn't set off a reset and he could try and kill one of them. And it was so well done. He encases himself in stone. The stone gets cut up by a sword, and they convince one of the lesser bad guys to join their side temporarily because, hey, I'm on the snake guy side. I'm not on this dick side. And we don't see how he dies. Like, we don't see what it's like when he dies. We do see her bite into where he is in the rock. Jesus, that'd be a bad way to go. But also, there's a chance she accidentally ate one of the divine artifact replicas. And I don't know what that does to her. But that's going to take us over to a lot more of a calm, simpler place. God damn, these are completely out of order, aren't they? We have Rock is a lady's modesty, which is not appearing in the vertical. Fuck my life. Oh, fuck it. You can deal with it. Center. It's also tiny. Rock of the Ladies Modesty, we've discussed this one before. That's a tiny ass picture. This week they got to perform their first actual band thing, where they joined a synth band and were playing in like a community center, which is great. Except for the fact that the main character's little sister, who she's trying to hide all of this from, is in the audience. And to start off with, we had a douchey professional singer who's made 2 albums and only gets 12 people in the audience to watch him. Newsflash, if you can't get that many people and they're not going to put you as the headliner, you're not that good. He pops up and he sings operatically, and then he gives the conductor of the band a lot of shit because they went to school together, and it's so fucking great. The band has to play slowly, but as soon as this guy just gives them shit, these two are just like, nah, we're going ham, and they bring the entire band with them because your bass and your drums are your beat, and you can't really fight the beat. You have to go with the beat, otherwise you're not playing the song properly anymore. They almost kill the band, but everyone loved it. The singer comes up at the end and tries to apologize and tries to get them to be his backing music at some point, to which they both flip him off and are basically along the lines of, stop being a dick. Of course we won't play with you. Why the fuck would you try and do this? Alice, who's the little sister, comes up to the MC in the back afterwards, and she's just, hey, you better not tell mum about this because it's just between us. And she doesn't. She does not tell the mom. And that is great. That's great character development, because until now, she's hated her. And it's so good that there's just that little bit of build-up between the two. Now for an anime that I love, but I can never remember what the hell happened this week. Spear Anime! Catch me in the ballpark! Now, this week we got to see some jealousy. Because not our main character, our favorite just office worker, who Ruriko I think is a little bit into, ended up sitting next to one of his new co-workers and having some food and having a drink with her, and Ruriko was not happy. Basically, from what I can remember, the entire episode basically revolves around Ruriko not being happy about them being together there. And giving her shit about not being good at Ninsta, even though she's also terrible at social media stuff. And we got to see what happens when a ball game gets rained out. Sorry, they're coming back to me as I'm talking. Which is great, because I've never watched a baseball game. Though when we go to Japan, I think I might go see if we can find one. And like they have a whole cheering section that just tries to keep the team hyped up. And it's so good. We also get to see the wife of one of the older players comes and gets territorial about, hey, my husband's better than that guy, so I need to buy one of their lunches. And then the girlfriend of another player, comes and buys 2 more. And they end up buying all of them, only to find out other people actually wanted them, because they like the flavors and they like the players, which is really nice. And it's, I believe they actually say in the episode, the 2 of them would be really good friends if they could just set aside their husbands. I'm surprised at how much I remembered. But next, we're going to get to our final 3. Dagnabbit. No, that is right. There we go. We have Fire Force. And man, I could happily watch nothing but Fire Force for a week. I've done it before, but I am so hyped for this every time a new episode comes out. Because this week, we got to see Arthur, the Night King himself, fight a dragon, who, as they fought, become more and more dragon-like. We got to see Captain Obi, who had, at the end of the last episode, had one of the bugs put on him, use hysterical strength to just flexed the entire time because his muscles were so thick and so strong that that bug could not get through his skin. It is such amazing bullshit. I love it so much. But we are starting to see Arthur get to... He's getting further up towards his peak, and I love it. He made his plasma sword bigger. He's made a cowl for him that can basically negate fire because the dragon breathed fire at him and he just put his cowl over him, which is also made of plasma because a knight has a cowl. They have that kick bullshit going on. Heraldry, I believe it would be. But it's just so fucking fun. The entire episode is just him fighting this guy who apparently can turn himself into one of the burnt. I'm spacing on what they call them, but it's so fucking great. After that, hopefully this will go to the right picture this time. We have Windbreaker. This episode, I don't know how they do some things in this show. Because I thought the only time I want to watch Windbreaker is the fights. Oh, fight, fight, fight. A little bit of downtime. Fight, fight, fight. This week, we had more downtime. We had our main character, who I believe is Sakura, come into the class and basically tell them, hey, I'm not used to doing the having friends thing or having people I can depend on thing. Sorry. And everyone's like, hey, do you think you're the only one with fucking problems? We all have shit going on. We're going to go have a party, and then we're all going to talk about it. And through that, we found out that our ginger muscle-bound dude up top doesn't like ghosts. But he has the greatest reason for it. Because he is our meathead. He is our brawler. Well, they're all kind of the brawler, but he's just straight strength. Doesn't matter how strong you are, you can't punch a ghost. That's the greatest fucking reasoning I've ever heard. We have another guy told another one, but also our dangly-eared guy, who I'm pretty sure is going to end up being the love interest. Dear God, I hope he is. Not okay with Nato. And they basically just pin him down while somebody goes and gets Nato. And this is just such good writing for Friends. Because this is just teenage boy bullshit. I love it. In the second half of the episode, we get a meeting up on the roof between as many people as we could get. And we get to meet our trans representation in the show. Who... I genuinely thought that there was just a random girl in the school. I did not realize that this was all boys school, which I don't know how I didn't realize that, but hey. And when they were told that they called them Sanchan, which would basically be girl boy. I can't remember their name, but it's their name, Sanchan. Sakura's reaction to it is just, you're really tall for a girl. And that's just beautiful inclusivity. Like, hey, you're fucking tall. You'd be tall for a dude. You're a really tall girl. Love it. And she's in love with the head of their group. And I love the fact that everyone in the group is just like, of course we fucking know. You are very obvious about this shit. If we want to go into things that have people that are really obvious about their feelings, we need to go on to be Hero X. We have 4 episode character arcs. So we are no longer on Linling. I can't even remember the name of the character who we're following now. Fuck. This is the best episode of the show. So far. Completely. We get to follow our new character who was saved by an electric-powered based hero when he was a child. His parents died to a villain. He got saved by this guy. And now he basically does like theater plays of this guy's exploits. He gets heckled like hell by a little kid. And it's amazing because this kid becomes his helper. Like, he helps him try and improve his shows because this kid's big sister is the love interest for that guy. She just doesn't know it's him because we got a mask on. And it's great because at one point, these two douchebags that get fired from being a delivery service kidnap the kid, and the MC just jumps on a bike and chases after them in their van. Because their van is having troubles. They explain why it can't get fast enough to really outrun the bike properly. And it's just so great. He gets into a fight with these two guys, one with a wrench, one with his hands. Oh, sorry, originally it's just a pipe and the other guy with his hands. And when he's getting his ass kicked and trying to run to save the kid the entire time, his trust meter jumps from 0 to 1 because somebody believes in him 100%. And instant electricity. Because he had gloves that misfired and he accidentally electrocuted the two of them. Because of that, the kid started to think, hey, this guy might actually be the next electric hero. And so he became the next electric hero. And it's so fucking good. It is so fucking hype. If you are not watching this, what the fuck are you doing with your time? But that's going to be it for this week. I am so emotionally drained from all of these shows. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know what your favorite thing you're watching this week is. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.